Okay, shall we move to the next question?
Sir, then the last point is the first part.
Yeah. Uh, shall we do a balance scorecard question? So look at question number 335. Question number 335. It's called MedComp. MedComp. It's a question on balance scorecard, which will require some kind of a thinking from your end. So we'll read it together and we'll try to do it together as well. So it says MedComp is a charity based in Sealand. It provides medical treatment to prevent and cure blindness caused by cataract to thousands of people in less developed countries. This disease is relatively easy to cure when treatment is available, but the majority of people who need treatment cannot afford to pay for it. For over 10 years, MedComp has provided free treatment from 12 treatment centers based in fixed locations worldwide. MedComp employs a small number of paid permanent staff who consist of medical practitioners, medical administrators, and fundraisers, but the majority of its workforce is voluntary. The charity has built relationships with several teaching hospitals in Sealand from where it recruits newly qualified doctors and nurses. These doctors and nurses volunteer to work unpaid for a year in MedComp's treatment centers before returning home to work in one of Sealand's many hospitals. MedComp believes that using newly qualified medical staff will promote the use of the most effective and up-to-date techniques and procedures. Financial donations are sourced from large businesses in Sealand, and most of the equipment and other medical supplies needed are donated by hospitals and manufacturers. Thus, it is rare for treatment centers to run short of supplies. MedComp keeps accounts for a year end 31st August as well as detailed operating data. Data extracts from its management accounts for the current year 2008 and from 2017 and 16 are given as follows. Average size of donations 600, 535 and 500. Number of donations, that will give you the total donation that you got. Total operating cost, new procedures as a percentage of total procedures. Look at the note. New procedures are procedures which are introduced within the year. Number of treatments performed, number of successful treatments, and available or rather average number of days taken to deliver drugs and equipment to treatment centers. MedComp is about to introduce a balance scorecard to help implement its strategy and measure performance. The critical success factors, CSFs, which relate to the 4 perspectives of the balance scorecard have been identified as positive cash flow. That's your financial perspective. Innovation. Innovation would be what? Would be like learning and growth phase. Learning and growth phase, I would say. Medical effectiveness. Medical effectiveness would be where? Internal perspective. Good internal perspective. And functional efficiency. I think functional efficiency would be internal business. And maybe medical effectiveness would be customer. Medical effectiveness would be customer because that is your end result. Good. So if you can identify those 4, I think you're okay. For each perspective of the balance scorecard, select the appropriate critical success factor. So here, they're doing you a favor and they're giving you the critical success factor. Generally, you have to think. You'll have to think and figure out something, but here they're giving you. Suggest one key performance indicator which will help to measure the critical success factor and use the KPI to analyze Medcomp's performance from 2016 to 2018. Use the balance scorecard template provided below to structure your answer. They've given you a template. So simple, no? So financial critical success factor, we already looked at positive cash flows. KPI, you can measure that, no? Performance analysis, you write a comment. So I told you when you do a balance scorecard, there's always 3 parts to it. Here also they're given you the same 3 parts but in different words. So the volume is a little weak. Others, are you all having the same issue? Gayatri, Azra, Ashfa, Salma is having some problem with the volume. Others, are you all okay? Hello? Oh, some can't hear me at all, I think. No issue. Okay.
No issues.
No issue. Salma, maybe you have a problem with your connection then? Please check. Okay. Shall we start? Okay. Let's look at the financial one first. Critical success factor is positive cash flow. KPI, how do you measure KPI? So this would be total donations minus total operating cost. Okay. Then analysis. You can have a small table if you want to or whatever. So we're looking at 2018, 2017, 2016. Total donations, total operating cost, cash flow, or rather we call it net cash flow. Okay. So total donations 2850 into 600, and then you have 3000 into 535, and then you have 2950 into 500. Total operating cost 173,000. Oops. What happened? Problem with the connection. We got disconnected.
Recording in progress. Sir?
Yeah, hold on. Something happened. Where is that? Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something, Sanu? Okay, can you hear me now? Hello? No, mute. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Now.
Thank you so much. So I think no, we got disconnected. Right? So we're back online. Don't worry. So 2017, we have 155 000 and 1430 000. Okay. So you can do the math here. How much do you get?
1 million, sir.
2018 1 million? 1070.
1710.
10. Okay. Other one?
1.6.
16
05.
05 000.
1475.
Okay, so I think you have positive cash flows in 17, 18, 16. 18 you have negative, right? So negative 20,000 here looks like.
Yeah.
Here positive
55.
55,000. Here positive
45.
45,000. Okay, so we'll try to write a comment also. Okay, so you can say 2017 and 16 have had positive net cash flows, with a small negative in 2018. Despite the size of the donation increasing, so you can say this could be due to the charity focusing on smaller number of large contributors. What does that mean? That means you have people who contribute more.
But the amount they contribute is less.
The amount they contribute is more, lesser number of people contributing more. So 600 is increased now, 535. Okay, so that's it for the first one. Then second one, customer. So I think we discussed the critical success factor to be medical effectiveness. Then your KPI, how can you measure the KPI? I think percentage of successful treatments. Two 2018, 2017, 2016. So let's say number of treatments performed or number of successful treatments rather divided by number of treatments, success percentage. Okay, so you get 4312. Looks like it has dropped 5600. 8 is 4,300, 8 is 5,000, 8 is 4,002 or 4,600. So we get your percentage. Software says 77%, 86%, and 87%. So looks like it has dropped, significantly dropped. What do you think this could be the reason for?
Since they are trying to recruiting new.
Maybe they are recruiting new doctors and nurses who may have not had sufficient experience previously, or could be the disease also has developed. One of the two, right? So we can write down there. We'll write our first thought. I think that's something that came to my mind as well. So you can say there. The success rate has reduced significantly. The success rate has reduced significantly. Which could be due to the recruitment of newly qualified doctors and nurses. Pulls up and say, the company is under the belief that this would be effective as they would be using up-to-date techniques. and procedures. First up and say, however, on the other hand, there has been a significant increase. In the number of in the percentage of new procedures. Which could also be a reason for the drop in the success rate. So as you can see, number of new procedures have increased from 5% to 20%. Significant increase. Right, next one. Is internal business process. I think we consider it to be functional efficiency, right? Yeah, internal business process. Critical success factor, functional efficiency. What could be the KPI here? What do you think is the KPI? Maybe number of deliveries, no? This number of days taken to deliver drugs. So there is no change, I believe. 777, right? So we can write there. This has remained at 7 days. This has remained at 7 days constantly. And could probably be due to no new locations being added. They're saying 12 locations that they have around the world have been there for some time. No? They haven't said that they're adding new locations. No? So you can say there could probably be due to no new locations being added. And most likely the logistics being figured out. Full stop and say. There is also a statement which states, or there is also a statement that suggests. It is very rare for treatment centers to run short of medical supplies. Which reassures the logistics are done well. Okay, right, last one, which is learning and growth. So what is your critical success factor? Obviously that would be innovation. So what is your KPI for innovation? Obviously percentage of new procedures. Right. Okay. So obviously 2008 has increased, or 18 has increased significantly to 20% compared to 16, 17, where it has been only 5%. 4 times. Right. So what you can say is there's been a significant increase. In the percentage of new procedures. In 2018, which is a clear improvement from the previous years. We'll stop and say, however, the success rate has been significantly low. Which should also be looked at. To ensure effectiveness of the medicine or treatment. Quickly read through those and then we move to part B. explain the benefits of an organization using the balanced scorecard to measure performance instead of using solely financial measures. Okay, I think we'll discuss this, don't have to write an answer. Obviously, if you look at a company like Medcomp, right, they're a not-for-profit organization. So then only using financial measures will not make any sense because their objective is something more than achieving profits. Right. Number two, obviously, is if you look at financial performance indicators alone, we always say that they are lagging indicators. So there are always two types. No? One is leading and one is lagging. Leading is what leads to better performance in the future. Right? Lagging is looking back at what happened. Right? So there is no point of only focusing on lagging indicators. If you look at a financial statement, it shows you what has happened in the past. Can you do anything about it? You can't. But if you look at a balanced scorecard, they have some leading indicators as well. For example, customer perspective. If you service a customer well today, in the future your financial perspective will become better. If you have innovation today, your future financial perspective is going to look better, right? Then obviously you can also look at not having financial measures solely because in the short term, yes, it might look good, right? But in the long term, might not generate the return that you require. Again, going back to that leading and lagging technique. So if you can answer 2 or 3, maybe should be okay. Right. Let's do one more question quickly on this topic itself. Shall I do this question on the building block model? Question number 338. Okay. OSC, correct. So go to question number 338. OSC company. So we'll read through, I'll give you some time after that to answer the question, but let's go to the requirement. It says for each of the dimensions of the building block model. So how many dimensions of the building block model do we have? 3 blocks. How many dimensions do you have? There are 6, no? You have comparativeness, you have financial performance, you have quality of service, flexibility, resource utilization and innovation. Correct? The first block, you broke it into 2, you had 3 blocks, right? Check and see. 3 blocks I gave you, 1, 2 and 3. The top block is talking about all your all the dimensions. Correct?
Yeah.
There are 6 dimensions there.
Downstream.
Both including upstream and downstream. Okay. So it says one-stop car company offers a range of services for car owners at its 55 service centers across the country. The car maintenance business is extremely competitive in all regions across the country. Each service center operates autonomously and managers are able to choose how to package up the services they offer. OSC company aims to make the task of car maintenance a pleasure and not a chore. Its national website states the following: ranges of services or service packs available including express service and full valet. We work whilst you wait service with average wait times of only 2 hours. Watch our friendly, experienced mechanics producing high quality work. Freshly made tea and coffee and free internet in our comfortable lounges. Monthly free price draw for all customers completing an online feedback form. Customers initially access the national website, but depending on the location, they are automatically redirected to the website of the nearest service center so that they can view the offers available at that center. All bookings are made through the OSC website. Results for one of the service centers, the Midland, for the year which just ended, is given below. The column headed OSC shows the average figures for all of the 55 centers. So sales revenue, gross profit, mechanics, junior, senior, service packs developed, number of website hits, total number of jobs booked, number of jobs from repeat customers, time spent completing job, percentage of customer feedback form. Mechanics are classified as senior if they have been qualified for more than 5 years. Junior mechanics includes both trainee mechanics who are unqualified and mechanics who have been qualified for less than 5 years. So I don't think that's important for us. Then they say the MSc introduced 3 new service packs during the year. Free valets for orders over 100. Safe to check costing only 20 instead of the usual 40 for all customers booking a full service. Okay. Then $10 air conditioning efficiency check, which usually costs 20 for all customers booking an oil change. These 3 new service packs produce revenues of 66, 58 and 54 respectively. 2 comparable new service packs developed by other centers produce 44 and 42. Online feedback form asks customers to rate the center from 1 to 10, with 10 being the best. CEO of OSC company has recently attended a business seminar and heard about Fitzgerald and Moon's building block model for performance management. CEO is interested in how the dimensions block could be applied at OSC company. The dimensions of performance identified in the model are they're giving that also. Competitiveness, financial performance, quality, flexibility, resource utilization and innovation. If I was them, I would have not given that. Okay. So if you can recall, right, I'll just quickly give you a briefing very quickly. Your building block model is something like this, no? I don't tell you can't remember. Okay, my drawing is not the best, but right on the top you have dimensions, right? Then what do you have? Then you have standards. Then rewards. So dimensions, you have 6 parts to this, which they have already given it to you in the question. Standards, you have 3 parts: ownership, achievability and equity. Correct? Rewards, you have clarity, controllability, measurability, or not measurability, rather motivation. Okay, so we are focusing on dimensions. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes. Just see if you can draft out something for this, for each of the ones. So you have to compare the MSc company versus the OSC average.
Are these both different countries now?
Which one? MSc and OSC? OSC is the group average. MSc is one service center out of the entire. Okay, start on it quickly. Let's make a call and come. Finished? Fine. Done? Do.
Figured out what should be taken to each.
Sorry, you were asking for?
No, I have figured out what should be.
What should we do? That's what I'm asking you. Okay, so we'll go through the first dimension. What is the first dimension they've asked us? Competitiveness. So we'll go to competitiveness. So if you look at competitiveness, what is the KPI you can look at competitiveness from this table that they've given you? Competitiveness. How competitive are you? Can we say, so we'll just write it down. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. You all have to tell me what you all think. Anyone got anything for competitiveness? Maybe website hits, yeah, that looks good. Or maybe you can go one step ahead to say number of jobs booked. Now they have to book it from the website, no? So you have 14,000 people visiting the website, only 9,000 booking jobs. So maybe this is not working. That's working. So you can say number of, maybe under competitiveness, you can say number of jobs booked divided by number of site visits. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. You all can tell me if you all have a better option. Competitiveness. Yeah. I don't know whether you want to use number of repeat customers or do we put that under quality of service? Maybe quality of service. Number of repeat customers. No? Okay. So if you look at MSC and OSC, what are the ratios you got here? Under MSC, you got 9,506 jobs being booked out of 14,000 site visits, and OSC you have 18,000 or 11,870 being booked out of 18,260. Okay, so then you can look at competitiveness. Who is more competitive? Looks like MSC is more competitive, no? I don't know the percentage, but by numbers I'm looking at it, looks like that. Yeah, girls online. What do you all think? Hey, all right, participate, huh? Don't sleep.
MSc is competitive.
MPSC is better. How much? 60?
68
And
65.
65. So MSc is more competitive. So you can write a small, what do you say, note. So you can say that on average, it has a conversion rate of 68%. We call it conversion rate. Huh? When you visit websites and you convert it into a sale, we call it a conversion rate. So you can say the conversion rate is higher for MSc at 68% in comparison to OSC at 65%. In comparison to OSC at 65%. Okay. Right. Then you move to financial performance. So under financial performance, what is your measure? Maybe GP margin? Yeah, so that's gross profit over sale. So you can find for MSc and OSC. So MSc I think looks like almost 50%, no? 304,200 divided by 76500, but lower than OSC I think. No, OSC is higher. 328 146 divided by 890 365. How much would that be? Yeah, ladies online, you're okay? So Salma says this is 40%.
36.85%.
40% and 36.9. It's Ashfa, yeah? Okay, got it. Thank you. So now what do you think? MSc is doing better. I thought MSc, MSc is doing better. So again, MSc's profitability is also somewhat higher in comparison to the OSC average. But can you tell them why though?
Since they have additionally added 3 new packages.
Maybe they have new service packs that they have developed, or maybe because they are senior to junior, they have less senior mechanics and less junior mechanics in comparison to OSC average. So obviously operating cost, rather let's say direct cost is less. Okay, so we can say those 2 points. I think those 2 are good enough. So one you can say is maybe due to the number of service packs they have developed, or number 2, the number of mechanics that they have in total are significantly lesser than, not significantly, are lesser than the OSC average. You can say both of those.
So,
Yes.
you know that for quality,
Mm-hmm.
if we take the mechanics,
Quality we didn't take mechanics, right? You want to consider mechanics? Is that what you say? Sorry, Gayatri, go ahead. For quality, I think what we just discussed was to consider the number of jobs from repeat customers. I think. Far correct? Yeah. So I thought we can consider number of jobs from repeat customers for quality. What do you think?
Also, we can consider the feedback.
oh, okay. So,
Feedback as what is.
You can also consider the percentage of customer feedbacks showing 9 and 10. That is okay.
so the number of excuse me.
Number of mechanics, I would consider that to be as a resource utilization, Gayatri.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because we'll need something for resource utilization as well. Here, your resource is most likely to be the mechanics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next point then. Quality. Quality. So under quality, I think we discussed that we look at the jobs or percentage of jobs from repeat customers. So that would be number of jobs from repeat customers over total number of jobs. Yeah. Number of jobs from repeat customers over total number of jobs. Then what happens there? So you look at MSc, you have 1500 over 9506, and then OSC you have 1660 divided by 11,870. And obviously it's going to be higher for MSc, no?
So,
Yes,
for
Salman.
quality of service,
Yeah.
can we also use percentage of customer feedback forms showing score of 9 or 10?
Yeah, you can. Exactly what Fad also raised here. So yes, we can use it. That's another thing. But what I was thinking was, yeah, that can be one. But if you look at you having a repetitive customer, the reason I picked this, I'm saying, a repetitive customer would mean that you're definitely doing a quality service. No? That's why I picked this. But yes, we can pick the other one as well. No harm.
It's not necessary to describe both in the same test, right?
You can pick one of those. You don't have to do both. Yeah.
But in when we describing, we can take points from that.
You can take point from that. You can say definitely yes. You can say the quality. Now, for example, what is this MSC's percentage?
15.8%.
15.8% of repeat customers as opposed to OSC being
13.98.
13.98. And you can say that this is also evident in the customer feedback form, which shows 80% scoring 9 or 10 for MSc and only 70% on average for OSC. Okay, Salma?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Good. You can learn audit also. I don't know if the online students can hear Fazin sir shouting on that side. Good if you can't. Okay. Right. What's the next one? Quality done, and then we have flexibility. Flexibility. How do you think we measure flexibility?
The time.
Ideally, time, no? Time spent completing jobs.
Divided by number of
Jobs, probably, yeah. So, time spent per job. Right. Time spent per job, maybe total time. Divided by number of jobs. So what is that then? MSc 23,100 divided by 9,506. Then OSC 24,800 divided by 11,860. Okay, how much do you get here? Yeah, how many of you have booked the exams? Only you booked? Done. Ashwa booked the exams? Azra, Gayatri and Salma, have you booked your exams? Okay, good. The rest, have you all booked exams? Gayatri, Salma and okay, Gayatri has done it. Salma and Azra? Okay, perfect. You'll have to pass, huh? Okay. Right. How much do you get here?
2.43 hours
Yeah.
and 2.09 hours.
So in terms of flexibility, I think OSC is better, no?
Yeah, they have initially made a decision of doing a service of 2 hours minimum.
That's OSC.
Yeah, the basic principle is to do a service minimum within 2 hours on average.
Okay. Now see, it's a good thing that this came up this way, because now see, MSc they're taking 2.5 hours. For a service as opposed to OSC taking 2 hours. Why are this?
Because the number of junior mechanics.
Maybe number of juniors is higher for MSc than OSC average.
Also, the new service packages, yeah.
Maybe they are doing more new service packages. And also, if you look at the ratings, MSc has a higher rating, no? 80%. Which means if they're taking a bit more time, a little more time than OSC, but customers are still satisfied, which means they're doing a great job in terms of the 2.5 hours they spent.
Regardless of time they take,
Yeah.
the customers are
Still satisfied. Okay, so we'll write that down. Okay, so hope you're writing down that we just discussed. Yes.
Sorry. For innovation as well as flexibility, could you use both?
Can't hear you.
Packages.
For innovation?
Sorry.
For innovation?
And for flexibility, could you use both for both of them? Could you, well, in theory, obviously, if you use one for one, you can't use the other. But if could you use for both of them? Could you potentially use the package introductions because you're catering to each of to your market?
Flexibility. You said flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Flexibility and
As well as obviously for innovation, of course, you can use that definitely.
yeah, straightforward.
Can you?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So but for flexibility, because they are catering to their market, or is that a no?
Flexibility. It's a good question. What you're trying to say is when you are flexible, you provide people with more and more packs that you've developed. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, in the roundabout way, yeah.
But if you really look at point number 3 in the notes, the service packs that they have introduced, does it really bring flexibility is the question. Now, for example, free valets for orders over 100. So these are like bundle packages where if you have $100 bill, you're definitely going to get a free valet. But would that improve flexibility is the question mark, no? Because flexibility is how you can move from one point to the next point. Correct?
Yeah. Okay.
So I wouldn't consider the packs to be part of flexibility because These packs are basically saying, okay, if the customer has spent X amount, then you get something in return. More like a bundle.
Mm. Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but good question. In terms of resource utilization, what did we discuss? We said, I think we'll have to look at how much we've utilized our mechanics. So maybe you can look at sales per mechanic, or maybe jobs per mechanic, whatever. Right? Maybe sales per mechanic or jobs per mechanic. But they don't mention that each mechanic attends to one job, no? So I wouldn't consider jobs per mechanic in that sense. Then I think sales is better, because I think you'll have a junior mechanic and a senior mechanic working on one vehicle, maybe. We don't know, right? So this would be total sales divided by total number of mechanics. Okay. So in that sense, what do you have for MSc and OSc? So MSc would be at total sales 760,500 divided by total number of people, 7 plus 5, which is 12. And then you have OSc, which is at 893,665 divided by 7.8 plus 5.2, that is 12 plus 13. Yeah, how much do you have? Hmm? 63,375 per mechanic. Okay.
And 68,489.60
Per mechanic. Okay, so something like 63,000 and 68,000. So there's close to a 5,000 difference per mechanic. Despite OSC having higher mechanics, maybe this could be due to the time taken, right? Because we said previously that it was 2.4 hours versus 2.09 hours. So you have half an hour extra that you're considering for every one job, which could have resulted in the sales per mechanic being lower for MSc as opposed to OSc. So maybe you can write that down as well. I don't know, these are just my thoughts. You'll have to give input as well. Okay, last one. What's the last one? Innovation. So innovation, I think we discussed this over and over again. But in this case, how would you look at it, right?
Number of new services, we could take revenues generated from the total 3 services and compare it with the total sales.
Good, very good. I think that is exactly what we need to do. We need to consider the revenue from new service packs. Right, or you can consider maybe total revenue from new service packs, but as a proportion of total sales. So divide this by total sales. Otherwise, it's not giving a percentage. No, you can't compare. Because just looking at number of service packs won't help. 3 and 2, I can introduce 100 different service packs, but if people are not purchasing it, there is no point. Right, so then you can do the same for MSc and OSC. So you have to ensure that people are buying and you are generating some revenue from this, otherwise there is absolutely no point. So here I think they are giving you 66, 58 and 54,000 divided by total sale 760, 500. As a percentage you can figure that out. And here it is 44 and 42. Obviously it's going to be lesser than 893.65. What's the value you got?
23.4% and 9.66%.
Okay. So what can you say here? Obviously, MSc is doing a fantastic job in the approach to bringing new packages, which has helped them generate comparatively higher revenue. Correct. Yeah, even OSC, if you look at the in terms of absolute numbers, significantly less, no? 44,000 and 42,000 compared to 66, 58 and 54. Maybe you could also, a different way of looking at it is average revenue per new package. I'm just looking at different ways of looking at it. This is another way of looking at it. I wouldn't consider number of new packages because anyone can introduce 100 new packages, but you can't reward them for that because
Whether
if
they are making
there is no benefit from it. No? Yeah, good. Okay. Right. Then part B, explain how the standards and rewards block support the dimensions block in Fitzgerald and Moon's building block model. So what do you think? So standards will obviously set the target that you need to achieve. Right. So I gave you that building block there on the top. You can maybe use that. Right. So you have ownership, ensure that it's achievable, and also it's fair across all employees. The rewards block, obviously one is it provides the motivation for them to achieve those dimensions. You have to give sufficient clarity to say, okay, this is how you are going to be rewarded, and it has to be within the control of the employee. Okay, so if you can just mention those, should be okay.
Can you state some points?
You want to write down a point? Okay, yeah, sure. You can say there in part B, the standards block is the target set for each of the dimensions. Is the target set for each of the dimensions. First up and say the standards have three aspects to it. The standards have three aspects to it. Which are the ownership to the standard, which are ownership to the standard. Within brackets you can say who is responsible for achieving the standard. Then comma the achievability within brackets you can say what level are the standards set at. And close brackets and is there equity in it? Within brackets you can say can it be used as a fair appraisal across the company. The next line you can say the rewards block ensures that employees are motivated to achieve the standard. Also can say this looks at three aspects, which are This looks at three aspects, which are clarity. Within brackets, you can say, is the system understandable to all employees? Is the system understandable to all employees? Motivation. Within brackets, you can say, will employees be driven to achieve the objective? Will employees be driven to achieve the objective? And controllability. Within brackets, you can say, do employees have control? Do employees have control over the responsibility, over their responsibilities? To conclude, you can say, next line, if standards and rewards are set correctly, it is likely that the goals will be achieved. Leading to the achievement of dimensions. Okay, Salma is asking, how is the marks divided in part A? So you will get 1 mark for each of the calculations that you do in terms of each dimension. 1 mark for each dimension, so that would give you 6 marks. You would get roughly half a mark. So 6. Yeah, so you get 6 into 1, that is 6 marks. You would get 6 into 0.5, 3 marks for justification. So this is justification as to why you selected that. This is your performance indicator. And then discussion or explanation or analysis, you would get the remaining marks. So how much is that? 6 plus 3 is 9. How many marks are we giving? 16. So you will get around 7 marks for this, which is basically 6 into 1, maybe plus another 1 from somewhere. That's how you will get your 16 marks. Okay? Right. Read through and see. Any questions, please ask. Okay, are we good? Right. So I think we'll stop there. I gave you a 10-minute break before, so 5 minutes break now. Times that. Okay, so we'll stop there, and next week we'll do some questions on variances and budgeting. Okay. You're okay? Ashwa, Azra, and Gayatri, Salma, okay?